Wilson alongside me, Tenakwe Gori, this should be good.
Tenakwe, TJ, kia ora koutou katoa, everyone. Yes, it's a top of the table clash. These are two quality teams with ambitions of making a statement tonight. Numbers 1 and 2, as you can see there, of course, at the moment, Auckland sitting at bottom, suffering, of course, COVID, and not allowed to be a part of the competition just yet. But both these sides tonight looking to gain more momentum in this year's Bunnings NPC.
Well, as you can see, it's a good night in Nelson. Joining us from the sideline, All Black prop, a coach, a referee and Sky analyst, Kia koe te wā, Kane Hames.
Kia ora kōrua. Now, after a few days of rain, the sun has reappeared and has become a great evening for footy. No real wind to speak of, and Trafalgar Park is in good shape. Now, I did talk to Coach Shane Christie just before, and he said this challenge will be massive, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Well, the Mako have started with 3 straight wins, and despite missing 2 or 3 of their regulars from this season's lineup, still with a very strong team to put on the field for this game. Lester Whainga Anuku moves out to the wing for this one, allowing Levi Almua to make the start at centre. Alex Nankerville out of action, so it's Groovy, Hunt and O'Malley in the inside backs. Sione Havili sitting out of this one with a moon boot on, so Jacob Norris switches to open side. Hugh Renton returns at 6. Coxon and McDonald into the front row, and there is a very strong bench featuring the return of Andrew Makaleo after a long injury layoff, Willie Havili, younger brother of All Black David, and a talented newcomer in Macca Springer. Andrew Goodman is the coach.
Yeah, this is an impressive Tasman lineup for Waikato, though. They have started the season strongly, unlucky not to be maybe 3-0 as well. They have a balance of youth and experience across their squad and have rotated some changes into their starting lineup. Johnston and Dyer will anchor the forward pack up front. James Tucker has been a workhorse in the middle row. Liam Messam, well, he continues to operate at a high level, whether it be starting at number 8 or on the bench. And the combination of Ratama and Smith on the insides, they'll need to pay dividends. Balin Sullivan's development and centre will also be closely monitored. Matty Lansdowne, he's a solid performer at the back and capable with ball in hand. Their coach, Ross Filippo.
Well, the Mulus were off to a very solid start before being edged in contentious style last week by Canterbury. An early charge of an attempted match-winning conversion by Fletcher Smith, who was not allowed a second attempt. No doubt they will try and channel all their frustrations into a bounce-back performance tonight. Johnston to lead them out. Certainly this team looks capable of upsetting the 2-time champions. Some good early season form, just that hiccup against Canterbury. But who better to have driving the forward effort than this man? Over 300 first-class matches in a 15-year career, still in great shape at 37. So much now, so much mana. Liam Messam. So Waikato awaiting the arrival of the home team. Just a moment in the huddle. Really strong against the board. They've built nicely over the last 2 or 3 years, Waikato. They've had some tough times, but now they face a very good side. Tasman weren't perfect last week. They returned from the trip to Titai Tokoro with the points, but a bit lax at times, particularly with their discipline. They're not going to get away with that against Waikato, but they don't lose too many in Nelson, and they have won their last 7 straight against the Mulus. Their success has meant more and more of their players have been elevated to the All Blacks, and with skipper David Havili now a fixture in the national team, the return of Tom Marshall could not have come at a better time. Vastly experienced, so good at reading the play from the backfield. And what a great time. So before we start, a moment to reflect on the passing of a great rangatira of New Zealand rugby, All Black Waka Nathan, a legend of the game, who passed away this week.
Awarding NZR's highest recognition for services to rugby. Our thoughts are with his final and friends at sad time as we remember All Black number 627, Moi Mai Rā.
He tōtara hai mata, tēnei kua hinga, haere te kānohi Māori, haere e te toa Māori, haere e te tupua whutupōra Māori. whakangaro atu rā.
Man who came out of Otahuhu College, the Otahuhu Club, a star of Auckland and the All Blacks in the 1960s, but perhaps just as importantly, a man at the centre of a renaissance of Māori rugby in the 1970s. Waka Nathan. Nick Bryant, our referee tonight, beautiful conditions. You get used to that when you come to this part of the world. And we're all set. This is a great note on which to start off such a big weekend of rugby. It'll be Mitch Hunt, co-captain of the Tasman Mako. Mitch Jacobson got a shot of him there just a moment ago. His brother may well be watching along with his All Black teammates in Australia. The weekend about to kick off in Nelson. It's first against second in the premiership of the Bunnings NPC. Tasman back in their familiar strip for this one. Waikato, the famous red, yellow and black. Ball just outside the 22. Cortez Ratima is the halfback. Whether he's carried that back, we'll wait and see. Well, it doesn't go into touch anyway. And a great chase down the left wing side by Dawai for Waikato, but Marshall's taken it well, and so Tasman get a chance to get a feel of the ball in the early stages. Jack Gruby, who's been playing well in the number 9 jersey. Hugh Renton held up. Imagine the battle for the gain line is going to be crucial in this match. Hunt going to the air early. Whainga Anuku giving chase, getting to it as well. And picked up nicely by Levi Aumua, the powerful centre, breaking tackles as he makes play down to the 22. Whainga Anuku, who's prepared to go hunting in all directions for the ball. And an early penalty has been won here, but just signs there of the efficiency of the Mako attack.
Really good execution from the Mako. Once they got the ball in their hands, Tasman, nicely taken, and they recycled possession, and then they went to the air, and that ability to compete. Aumua got his hands on it, very, very strong, good carry. And Waikato not just getting onside, and the start's so important for both sides, Kane, and for Tasman. This will give them a nice opportunity to get comfortable early in this match.
Yeah, for sure. And Lester, great line to get up and compete for that ball too. He's coming from strength to strength. But also Levi Aumua, you just saw him with ball in hand. He has played for the Highlanders. And the last time you would have seen him a couple of seasons ago for the Mako, you would have seen he's slightly bigger, but he's definitely trimmed up. He's a lot fitter. And I'm looking to see how good he goes in this game.
So I might take it, Kane, that you're not going to refer to him as a tight head centre anymore.
His scrummaging was no good anyway.
Well, Mitch Hunt, who wasn't at his best the last couple of 65% his kicking ratio at the moment, often has to contend with a bit of a breeze here, but nice and still at Trafalgar Park. Early opportunity here for the home team to get some points on the board. And strikes the first one nicely. Flags go up. Tasman, it's a solid start to lead by 3-0. So Fletcher Smith it will be to restart for the visitors. Beaten here in Nelson 34-17 last year. Paddy Parkinson going up, star of that game, David Havili, who scored a hat-trick. Carried up by Jacob Norris, who be looking forward to locking horns with his brother later in the game, maybe. Ollie on the bench for Waikato. Now the high kick from Jack Gruby. And again, the chase is good from the Mako. It's been knocked forward by Waikato, and so Tasman getting the ball back again and deciding to kick once more. Is Hunt driving them back. Matty Lansdowne going back, just getting a little awkward on him at the back, but still plenty of time to get a kick away and a touch. Not going to go into touch though, and racing back with it is Marshall, who looks confident, doesn't he? Full of running. Really enjoying being back on his home patch. He's got his brother on the coaching staff now. Gruby, go away to the left, probing away. O'Malley taken by Messam in the tackle. Again, advantage being played. Hunt booting it away downfield. They're quite happy to go to the mark and drive it downfield.
Really like what Tasman were doing there. Look, just holding on to the ball. A lot of the sides in this competition getting good numbers to the breakdown, protecting their own ball and forcing the opposition into errors and penalties and mistakes. And they did it really nicely there, Tasman. Good numbers in support and then just not rolling away. And that's just pressure. That's what builds when you are accurate. They looked really, really good there. Their kick chase has been good to start the game. Now they'll be happy with the way that they've imposed themselves early on. And guys getting their hands on the ball. Marshall taking it back strongly and with intent to play.
Well, for a moment, Liam Coombs fabling, thought he might have had a shot at keeping that in play. But it sailed out in good position here. Quentin McDonald in the starting hooker's position tonight.
Don't close the gap. Step across.
Quentin McDonald turns 33 tomorrow. He, like Messam, made his debut at this level back in 2007. Parkinson, such a reliable source of line-out possession, and again the arm goes out from Nick Bryan. Waikato just getting up a bit too quickly on defence, and here he is getting it amongst the forwards. Whainga and Nuku, he's just phenomenal. Well, Kane Tasman at the moment just controlling things, getting all the ball, and it's all theirs at the moment.
Yeah, and of course, compounding that would be the discipline from the Waikato boys just then. Sami Finau chucking the ball away. It doesn't get any easier. There was a slight possible bit of contact on Paddy Parkinson in the air just before. The maul does go very well for Tasman, so wouldn't be surprised if they go there, and Liam Messam, of course, will be trying to stop that.
Quentin McDonald will deliver it and no doubt go to the back of a driving maul. In fact, they knock it back to him at the front of the line out, but they knocked it forward.
Yeah, look, there's no doubt they recognised an opportunity at the front, but the pressure was on, and whether or not it was deliberately tried to knock back, no, it was just contended with, and whether or not it was knocked on by Waikato, actually. They might have been very, very fortunate there.
Well, it was a contest for possession, and Nick Bryant on the far side of the ruck, I think, could have been one or the other, and he's given the benefit of the doubt to Waikato. Fair enough.
I'm interested, Kane, who do you think in this battle up front should have a bit of ascendancy? Who are we going in thinking they can really put some pressure on?
Well, you can see George Dyer on the left, young fella, has only really started coming through the ranks, going up against Ryan Coxon, who's had plenty of time at this level, so it's going to be interesting to see how this goes.
Well, it's solid. It's a good start. Scrum time. Big dummy thrown by Gideon Rampling. He's a big, strong fella coming in off the wing into the midfield for this game. And now a penalty goes to Waikato. So an opportunity to relieve the pressure. And I feel pretty good about this. They've been under the pump a bit in the last few minutes, but they get a chance now to get the ball up, maybe out of their own territory.
It looked as though Rampling wanted to go. He was looking to throw a pass, then carried strongly, and Liam Messon went straight through the middle, and as he went to ground, Hugh Renton just didn't give him enough time and space to make that clear release. And so that relieves some pressure. And Waikato just need to find a way to get into the game, Kane, because at the moment it's all Tasman.
Yeah, 100%. And a good scrum, to be fair, to start that off. Hugh Renton just getting over the ball here. Doesn't show a clear release. So this will probably be the first chance for Waikato, ball in hand.
And they go to the front. And some nice work there. And George Dyer, the man we were talking about, they haven't controlled it, though, although they get it well at the second go. Pete Finau getting it over the ball. I think Jacobson was there as well, winning a penalty. So a couple of quick penalties here and a chance for Waikato to go deep now.
Yeah, both teams looking just to make those sneaky plays at the front of the line out. Fletcher Smith, we see here, kicking for touch. Look, there was a bit of controversy last week, and you know, the refereeing division of New Zealand Rugby came out and said they may have got it wrong, and he should have got a second attempt at a conversion, which would have won them the game, but we've had to get on with it. They had to get on and play, and this is a good side who's been performing strongly, so he'll put that behind him quickly.
Well, again, they go to the front, and it's Dyer who collects it. So both teams mixing it up. That's not great ball, though. Jacobson goes in to clear it. Quickly up on Dawai. McDonald there to try and drive over the top of it, but it's coming for Cortez Ratima. Smith now into midfield and Rampling. He's a big, strong fellow. Now Matty Lansdowne trying to thread his way through. In fact, that was Sullivan, Valen Sullivan at centre. Nicely set up here. The Mulus, numbers away to the left. Smith moving it on quickly. Rampling trying to get on the outside. Tawatawa Nawai, the winger, shepherding him out towards the touchline. Johnston with the big pass. Well, now they're looking to get some width into it, starting to get some momentum into their attack. Messam clears it away. Quick ball again, keeping it alive, but good, solid defence. That was Strange on the tackle. Now Aidan Johnston.
Open up. Play advantage.
Well, he's got Putty Parkinson there for not rolling away. Smith tries a little jab kick through, and awkward too at the back.
That's a knock on.
Being knocked forward though. Back for the penalty. Well, there's a good response this from Waikato after the early pressure.
Yeah, 10 phases is good because you're stressing the defence. You're making them make good decisions around the breakdown. And Putty Parkinson, he got himself in a position he couldn't roll away, so he's penalised because of it. Waikato can kick for touch or maybe go for goal. It'll be interesting to see their intent here. They're going to try and take the 3K. And this is probably good for them because they've been on the back foot since the start of this game. The first 10 minutes, they need, I suppose, settle themselves down. Just watch here. Parkinson just falls on top. Once you fall on top, very difficult to get away.
Yeah, well, it's one of those dominant tackles too, where he stopped on the spot. Couldn't really get off the top of George Dyer and then conceded the penalty there, but you're right. It's been all Tasman to start, so for Waikato to string 10 phases together is good for them. Now, it was obviously his kicking style that was in question. You'll see it in this next kick that he's lining up now. It's just one small step before he approaches the ball.
Yeah, and I just wonder whether it's something that needs to be clarified by the lawmakers or the people who apply the laws. Is it what constitutes that first movement towards the ball? Because that is supposed to be the trigger for the teams who want to come out and charge.
Well, he sort of resets, and that's the issue. He stops. You know, I reckon he would have addressed it during the week. So that's the next step there, you see. That's the second step he made. He stopped, and then he went again, and I think that's what now everyone knows and is aware of. And just like that, the ball falls over.
Of course, it's a moot point at the moment because it's a penalty and they can't charge him. But we're talking more about what happened last week in that game against Canterbury.
If you just watch him, he stops, he settles himself, and then he takes one more, and then he actually is in his starting position. And that's where the confusion was last weekend.
Well, he's
So
going to run
just
out
on top
time
of this
here.
as well, once you indicate to take the kick, you have a minute. I'm pretty sure that time is up already. He might just, if it falls over again, he might have to just drop kick it.
Well, if it falls over, it'll be Matty Lansdowne's fault. Just be careful he doesn't lose a finger. There it goes. After all that, it is over. Well, that's well done by Fletcher Smith, because he was out of time. He had to rush it. He had Matty Lansdowne holding the ball, and that's pretty coolly done by the young man.
Yeah, you've got to congratulate him. Given the fact so much attention after last weekend, it falls over twice. He keeps his composure, strikes it nicely, and we're all tied up here in Nelson.
It's funny, we've got a test against South Africa coming up this week. I think if people will remember back to 1976, and a very famous, infamous incident where Sid Going was having a shot at goal from right in front. It fell over twice, and the South African referee said, "That's it. You've had your chance." Well, one chance, and Waikato have taken it. So Tasman start again on halfway. Shannon Frizzell, Groovy, Hunt, and again he goes high. Whainga Anuku angling in off the wing, and well, Lansdowne got to it first, and I think he's offside here. I think Valen Sullivan's taken that ahead of where it was played by his fullback. Waikato just a little bit lucky to avoid a penalty here.
Yeah, I agree. It was played in the air, and Rampling's just seen the ball and thought, oh, Sullivan, yeah, he's got his hands on the ball. Was Sullivan there? And interesting tactic that they're going for, Kane here, going to the air, looking on this edge, obviously thinking Lester Whainganuku's got that opportunity.
Well, the coloured laces being worn by Tasman. September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and we're going to tell you more about that. Lockie Sutherland, a young man who fought very bravely, inspirational confrontation with a very rare blood cancer, the young man, and passed away last year, but certainly his story was taken aboard by the rugby community, and they're honouring him with these coloured laces, and we'll put the website up there, lockieslaces.co.nz, to make a contribution. Groovy comes away. Switcher play to Hunt. Oh, a bit of a slip there too from one of the Waikato defenders, and storming down the left-hand touch as Frizzell gets it away to Whainga Anuku, and they're just 5 metres short of the line now. Steaming onto it is McDonald. Tasman have it, and are very close to the line through Quentin Strange now. McDonald clears it away. Waikato looking to get up, but getting up too quickly. Advantage being played. Hunt flings it wide. Wrapping around, and chopped down was Tim O'Malley. But they keep it moving. Whainga Anuku offloading the ball. And still there for Tasman. They get a penalty.
Who's the captain who's going to take this one? 4 penalties down here. Get some discipline if someone's having a spell. The advantage back here.
Doesn't get any clearer than that. There's the fact that Waikato now are under a warning. And the fact that if they are going to give away another penalty in their own territory, they're going to suffer the loss of a player. That was a beautiful set move down the short side where they opened up some space for Shannon Frizzell down the touchline. Did it beautifully. It was a great platform, and they're going to take the scrum here. They feel as though they've got some ascendancy. This isn't a game, Kane, that's going to be 1 and 3s. You're going to need to score some tries, and I think everyone are now 16 minutes in, has settled into the game, and they want to keep playing.
Yeah, 100%. And it's interesting too, because it feels like some of the rain over the last couple of days, which Nelson have been training in, has affected some of their game plan. Their set piece seems to be okay. The kicking high in the air, they've been training in rain, remember, for the last couple of days. So it does seem to be crossing over here. They've taken the scrum out in front, one of the hardest places to defend. So let's see what Tasman have cooked up.
Well, Frizzell, option 1 off the back. Collapses. Frizzell picks it up. Referee playing advantage for the scrum collapse. Tasman can throw the kitchen sink at them if they can get the ball out. But I suspect another scrum coming up here, and they can't be far off a yellow card, Waikato.
It's a balance, isn't it? When you've given a team a warning, but you go to a scrum and it's a collapse the first one, whether or not it warrants a yellow card. I probably don't think so, but 100% now, if it's Waikato that infringes, they will certainly lose a player. This is just pressure up front, isn't it, Kane?
Yeah, and as we touched on earlier, George Dyer hasn't played a lot at this level and is up against an experienced pack. You've got Quinton Strange and Pari Parkinson. You've got an All Black at number 8 and Shannon Frizzell. Of course, Waikato have their own legend in Liam Messam. They're going to need to draw on plenty of that experience and come out of here with a result.
He's such a powerful core in this Mako scrum. Great field position. Frizzell off the back, has a go at them and spinning his way towards the line. Groovy now releases it, and the ball's been dropped, but dropped backwards by Marshall. So the threat is still there. Groovy digs it out. Frizzell, good defence on him, but can they continue to hold out? Penalty. Oh, that's brilliant defence again on their line.
Number 9 sitting off.
It's gone against Jack Groovy for sealing off. Jacobson, I think, putting a lot of pressure in the thick of it. And so they survive again a serious examination of their defence.
Okay. Just be up.
It was great work, wasn't it, from the defence from Waikato. They kept challenging the breakdown. Every time it looked as though there was an opportunity of space, they got in there with numbers. They created an opportunity for them to maybe turn the ball over. Look at that. You're thinking here, Pari Parkinson's going to be able to carry it. Great defence, great strength. And just here, they turn it over at the next breakdown. Just what Scrooby, as they go back to the front again.
It's been their number one source of ball, the front of the line out. Carried up by James Tucker, and now a big break up the middle by Lachlan McQuannell, the lock. Well, that's a tremendous run. Looking for the offload. Finau is there in support. And here's an opportunity against the run of play for the first try of the game, the Mulus. Almost a crossover there. Sullivan getting in front of Rampling. But Rampling took it into contact. Now it's been ripped away by Mr. Everywhere, Lester Whainga Anuku. Groovy just waiting for them to get organised, dropping back into the pocket for the kick is Tim O'Malley. Well, that's a tremendous breakout, sparked by Lachlan McQuannell out of nothing. And in the end, some desperate defence from Lester Whainga Anuku to deny them.
I get excited when you see a tight forward in the open field, busting through the middle, looking for support, ball in 2 hands. He made a good decision here. It was a good offload. They missed an opportunity, though. They created a 3-on-2 on the edge. They weren't able to execute, and then the defence from Tasman, Lester Whainga Anuku turns it over, but it's not over here for Waikato. Good time to attack.
Well, Stephen Misa, and once again they go to the front. Didn't go the 5.
He's reached in front of the 5.
Dropped by Dyer. Apart from that, worked perfectly.
Kane, I'm not sure. Does no one want to lift in the lineouts tonight? Because there's not a wind. And everyone's just throwing to the first guy at the front of the lineout.
Well, I don't know if it is because Mitch Hunt defends at the front of the lineout. There have been teams in the past that have tried to attack Mitch Hunt around the front. You watch the next couple of lineouts, you'll see that's where Mitch Hunt defends. It's fool's gold. He knows how to tackle, he knows what he's doing. But it could be a height issue, possibly. This ball is not out.
This time, Coombs Fabling able to keep it in play. Sullivan now trying to get on the outside. O'Malley equal to the challenge. Ratima files it away on the short side. Jacobson is there. That's Mitch Jacobson. And now the kick, little dinking behind, but Tawatawa Nawai is there, and they can set up a counter-attack. Coombs Fabling came racing up and, initially did enough, but ball ripped away by Waikato. And here they come again. Big spot tackle made by Tawatawa Nawai, and they've turned it over. In fact, he's got the ball. Bit of a scrap for it on the ground. But McDonald emerges with it. Norris with the offload. Frizzell looking to do likewise. Good aggression from the Mulus at the breakdown, but Tasman able to maintain possession. It looks like Drooby's going to kick out for Tamatava Nawai to chase. No. Goes open. Hunt gave him the call. Now Marshall coming into the line, showing that great acceleration that's always been the hallmark of his career. Running the ball out of the backfield. Parkinson, such a strong carrier. Defence was good. Jacobson on the tackle. Not really getting clean, quick ball at the moment. Whainga Anuku. We'll be trying to keep a close eye on him. Fighting his way forward is Ryan Coxon. Taking it to the line, Hunt, and nice passing. Oh no, it was, until one dropped onto the bootlaces. And now it's been hacked away, and chasing after this is Matty Lansdowne. He's going to get to it first, and they score. Well, it was a low pass that Shannon Frizzell couldn't pick up, and Waikato onto it in a flash, and fullback Matty Lansdowne gets the first try of the game.
It's about taking your opportunities. Tasman didn't take theirs. They made an error. They hesitated for a moment, and then Waikato, they pounced. Just watch here. It's quick hands. They've got numbers on the outside. The accuracy lets them down. The ball's thrown backwards, and then it's hacked ahead through Rampling, and then it's just great speed. And it's a great finish from Matty Lansdowne, and Waikato, after being under pressure, they were the ones that turn around, and they'll likely get 7.
Yeah, there's almost 3 parts to this try. Not too long ago, they were close to the line. Balin Sullivan made 2 key tackles to turn that ball back over. In the middle part, Lachlan McQuannell was awesome around the midfield, made the big break, and then just a little bit before had a turnover. And the third part was Matty Lansdowne scoring that.
Try is converted.
There it is, ball on the ground, boot to it, and there'd been a long period of play, so defensively there was no organisation from Tasman, and they were a little bit spent. You could see physically as well, they'd worked hard to hold on to the ball. It's an error that's hurt them. They've made most of the play, and now they're behind on the scoreboard.
Tasman been probing away. They've been taking scrums close to the line, got nothing from it. Waikato will be absolutely thrilled with this. 25 minutes, most of it under pressure. And they've got a 10-3 lead. Bear in mind too that they've proven to be a very good second half team in this competition so far, Waikato. And claim that the ball was carried back, but there had been a ruck inside the 22. So it was a good touch finder in the end. Let's see what that can spark from Tasman. We said it before the game started. We felt this Waikato team had every capability of forcing maybe an upset here, and they haven't tidied their own line-out ball up. Been lost and swarming through come the Mulus again. Well, they got a good roll going here at the moment. Sullivan caught behind the advantage line by Whainga Anuku, but the supporters, there's good energy about this Waikato performance at the moment. Jacobson driven back by Parkinson, no doubt upset with himself for losing that ball. Hurry kick by Fletcher Smith. That's not going to do anyone any good, and it's been knocked down to the Mako, picked up nicely by Frizzell, but now they've thrown it away, and here's Balin Sullivan. Support ranging up inside him, and on the outside, Coombs favouring. Oh boy, that's close. He tried to dive in at the corner. Mitch Hunt's come across. Did he put a foot on the line before he grounded it?
And what he's done is he's jumped in the air. He's tried to get some height to save himself. And they'll check this out, but I tell you what.
It's an on-field try. Tim, are you there? On-field, we're saying try. Just want to check touch in the process, please.
With no doubt this game's changed.
Took off. Okay.
When you start talking about how wingers can finish now, just watch his right foot as he come down. Is it on the body? It might be on the body of Hunt. It could be on the body. What do you think, TJ?
I'll tell you in a moment. Let's have a look. Where's that foot coming down? Well, no, I agree. I think you're right. I think it is desperate attempt to make the tackle. Mitch Hunt has prevented the foot from touching the line.
He's ended up rolling underneath.
That's a try.
It looks like a try.
Sorry, come again. Yeah. So his foot doesn't touch the touch line, it's actually held up. Okay, that's cool.
That try it is. And in the end, it's brilliantly done by Liam Coombs-Fabling, a young man who came into the side last year. He did well to contest the initial possession. Tasman had it, Jeff, and then they threw it away.
Yeah, just a turnover again. And you're in behind the play then. This is good work here. Angles in field to Sullivan and then times the pass nicely. And Coombs-Fabling, he knew exactly what he was trying to achieve. He went into the air to buy himself time and then he got it down. Albeit a little bit lucky, Kane, but job done.
Yeah, well, wingers, it's their job to finish. But let's not forget the man who started it, Balin Sullivan, and mentioned his name a couple of times tonight. Great pickup. And then very good draw and pass to put Liam Coombs-Fabling away.
It looked like he was going to set up the support runner on the inside, but the way he just veered in field distracted the defence, and that gave Coombs-Fabling the space that he needed. And Smith, well, this time he can't quite guide it between the uprights, but 15-3. I'm not sure the locals are all that impressed, but this is a great start to the game by Waikato.
But it's been of their own making for Tasman. They've tried to keep the ball alive. The ball's gone to ground, and then he has talked about it, TJ. Just angled in, which forced Mitch Hunt to change his angle defensively, and it resulted in the space to finish.
Well, the Moolus have come to Nelson, looking to end a losing run of 7 against Tasman.
Yeah, I thought he did too.
And, well, they're going to get a line-out throw here because in the end, James Tucker didn't even get a fingernail on it. Now, where are they going to go with this one? The variation at the moment is to the middle. Well, they've messed it up. So they've given Tasman a chance to hit back. Oh, good strong run here from Almua. And now having to duck out of the way of it is Renton. Ball almost caught him in the face, but he's done well to avoid a knock on there. Waikato have been able to assemble their defence, and so Tasman having to go again from the ruck. McDonald with the carry. Certainly been trying to bust their way through the middle in this game. Whainga Anuku coming across from the wing. Lining up for it is Coxon. Taken by his opposite number, Aidan Johnston. Now angled run from Sam Martenga. Edging towards the line and really needing a try here, Tasman. They'll be making a lot of the play, but find themselves 12 points down. Now the big pass from Hunt. Away it goes on the touchline is Marshall, and it'll be a liner. That's good defence from Coombs-Fabling.
Yeah, it's great defence. But across the board, there was no space to be found. They've gone quickly, had Waikato and found space at the back of the line out.
They're coming up with all sorts at line-out time here. The only ones that aren't working are the ones, the bread and butter stuff to the middle of the line-out. Everything else seems to be coming off.
You wonder whether or not there'll be some frustration now from Tasman because they've had plenty of territory possession in the right part of the field, but they haven't been able to break down the defence.
Lestrange wins the line-out. Norris has got it. End up taking it to ground. Gruby, Frizzell, they've used him a lot and he's making ground, but look at the way Stephen Misa gets over the ball. No, this time he says no clear release. So playing under advantage here, ball's been spilt.
They're never released. I've given you guys a warning about penalties down here. Every time they come down, it's another one, another card.
Oh, he's come out with the Kari Kōwhai, the yellow card. Just trying to see who it is who's gone off.
No good.
Stephen Misa, it is the hooker, and so this is immediately going to cause some problems if Tasman call a scrum.
Now it does seem that Ryan Coxon is in a bit of discomfort in the middle of the field. He doesn't look good at all. He has been strong. He's a very good player, has played a lot of footy for the Chiefs. It looks like left ankle. He doesn't look good at the moment. Just watching his left ankle, you can see he's not good. We do have Isi Tuungafasi warming up at the moment, so that will possibly be a change. But no, that does not look good.
Well, just to take your mind off what you've just seen, let's have a look at what's coming up. A lot of great action this weekend, of course. The big one, Saturday night from Townsville, the 100th Test match between New Zealand and South Africa. The All Blacks in a near unassailable position in the Rugby Championship, but they'll still want to win it. Australia against Argentina following at 10:05. And of course, so much action in the Bunnings NPC. Manawatu against Northland. I think a great deal of excitement in Turbo country about Aaron Smith turning out for them this season. Southland against Canterbury, 4 o'clock Saturday from Invercargill. And our college rugby feature match, well, a great clash from Wellington. St Pat's Silverstream against Scots College. Terrific players come out of both of those colleges. And that'll be followed Sunday at 2 o'clock by Wellington against Hawke's Bay, the Bay. We're allowed to call them. There's the other bay there, Bay of Plenty, against Taranaki from Tauranga on Sunday at 4:30. And again, just reminding you of the bootlaces and a tribute to incredibly brave young fellow Lockie Sutherland. Lockie's laces, you can see there the Tasman team getting right behind it. There's the website where you can make a donation, Child Cancer Foundation. What a inspirational, brave young man, and he will live on through Lockie's laces. It's going to be a bit of a delay here, the stretcher coming out. I might also, while we're talking about good causes, might remind you that it's also Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, September. And all I can say about that is to any man over the age of 50, get a blood test. It could well save your life. That's all you have to do, get a blood test. Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. We maybe just take an opportunity. There's Liam Messam, 37 years of age, actually born in Tasman, Mako territory, born in Blenheim, but moved. He was very young to Rotorua. 182 for the Chiefs, 43 for the All Blacks, approaching 100 for Waikato. A World Cup member in 2015, 2 Commonwealth Games golds, and a great sportsman, as you can see there, as he goes across to this very distressed Ryan Coxon.
It's probably one of the great things about this NPC, TJ and Kane, is the fact there's a number of experienced players. And some highlights from the first half. Turnover from the Mako. They've been hurt twice doing this, where the ball's come loose and they've pounced very, very quickly. It's Lansdowne who gets the try. He had plenty of support in and around him after a long period of play. And it was very similar second time round. They claimed the ball after another error from the Tasman team, who tried to keep the ball alive, turned over it, goes to ground once again, quickly picked up by Sullivan. He angles in nicely, and Coombs Fabling finishes beautifully after having a bit of fortune. His boot ends up on top of Mitch Hunt, but they get some momentum. And as I was saying, that experienced players who have been kept in New Zealand cane, who haven't been able to go overseas, have re-entered the fray, and the likes of a Liam Messam, having a big impact on squads, and you'll need that type of experience as this competition looks to get extended out.
Yep, 100%. You need that experience. And just for people like George Steyer, Lachlan, McConnell, having Liam Messam around to help you out, to feed knowledge through, to feed experiences through. Sometimes that you can live through them a bit and through those experiences. So important that you have those senior players around. Alex Ainley in the past has been that. For Tasman, you can see Isi Tuungafasi, number 17 jersey, will replace.
I think this next 10 minutes,
when he makes his way off of the field.
Yeah, the next 10 minutes as well is going to be pretty critical for Tasman. They've now got that numerical advantage. They've missed opportunities. How can they call on the likes of Tom Marshall? Lester Whainganuku, get his hands on the ball. Looks dangerous every part of the game. And Frizzell as well has carried strongly at the back. So it's a difficult situation for any team when you lose a player to a serious injury. And
well, if you missed the start of the game, missed the players making a tribute to Waka Nathan. Just joined us, Waka passing away this week at the age of 81. Great figure of the New Zealand game. Incredible player. The French just fell in love with him, and when he was there with the All Blacks and on the 63-64 tour, he was back in the Northern Hemisphere with the great All Black team of 67. What a huge decade that was for New Zealand rugby, but also great player for Auckland, the All Blacks. Ryan Coxon leaves the field. It's always sad to see, and it looks like a severely damaged ankle. All we can do is wish him a speedy recovery. So Tasman now go to the line out. Waikato, if they can keep them out here, they'll be absolutely thrilled. They're down a man now. Stephen Misa is in the bin. And Waikato, one of their go-tos, or rather Tasman, I should say, one of their go-tos, the line-out drive. At the moment, working very hard to try and get it moving forward. It's broken up too. That's great defence from this inspired Mulu side. Static ball, and so they have to get it moving forward again. Parkinson, such a strong man with ball in hand. Groovy, they keep bashing away, but Waikato keep holding firm. Now Frizzell, a step change of direction. Same result, ends up on the ground. Martinga puts his head down. Good clean out. Jacobson was trying to get over the ball. Groovy fires it away. Hunt now. Whainga Anuku holding it up. In fact, that was Tavatava Nawai coming across from the right wing. Well, they're plugging away here, Tasman. But they still haven't been able to get the ball over the line. Now trying to break his way through the middle is Quentin McDonald. And it's been knocked on by Frizzell. Well, that's more great defence. And more frustration for Tasman.
Just look at the work done here at the breakdown. There's plenty of pressure on, and you got the sense they were making ground, but just that weight of possession, looks as though the change will be made.
I think that's Sammy Penny Finau going off, isn't it, Kane?
Yep, Sammy Penny Finau will make way for Sam Cooper to make sure that the scrum, we have plenty of front rowers, but there's two parts of that defence too. The maul that did look well structured was contained, and then when Tasman went to work with their carries, Waikato's defence has just been too good so far in this first half.
So changes in both front rows. Isi Tongafasi is on for Tasman in place of the luckless Ryan Coxon. Sam Cooper on, and he'll have to hook the ball, and they want to get rid of it quickly. Well, who better to have at the boot of the scrum in such a situation? Oh, he's lost the ball. Liam Messam So Tasman get it back. You don't see that happen very often. Frizzell having another go. Can't get it to the line. They just keep hammering away. And Waikato keep winning defensive penalties. Oh, that's great work.
Remarkable. You would never have expected Liam Messam to turn the ball over going into that contact, but it was ripped out by the halfback Jack Ruby. And then once again though, this Waikato defence, just the desperation as they go to touch in the next 6 minutes. If they can somehow find themselves working their way down the field, holding onto the ball, it's just the sealing off. Just watch here. In on the ball, rips it quickly, and you're thinking, how do they regroup and get back and defend? But watch this. Just watch Putty Parkinson, and he just goes straight off his feet, sealing out. You must allow a contest for the possession.
Yeah, they're really tough on that one too, with a supporting player or a player latching onto the ball carrier. If he goes to ground, it's going to be a penalty every time. Knocked down, a little bit untidy. Tasman have come through, but they've knocked it on. Yeah, I think from now on in this game with Waikato, I think the ball needs to go no more than 6 metres. It has to go 5, but no more than 6, and they'll win their line-out possession.
Yeah, it's interesting
Form the scrum, please.
because the only ones that have worked are the ones to the front or the one all the way over the top. Every time it has gone to the middle, hasn't gone so well. So Steve Misa had his chance in the first couple of moments. He's now on the sideline. Sam Cooper's now on. Hasn't nailed that either. So you're right, Tej. Probably going to have to just go 6 metres.
Well, Quint Strange, of course, is one of the better line-out thieves in the country. Parkinson, of course, such a big man. They'll be wary of them. And they get a penalty at scrum time. And making his presence felt, Isi Tuungafasi.
Yeah, you would expect Tasman to have had a go at that scrum with a numerical advantage. They'll go to the corner again. They got themselves set up in a driving position, but Liam Messam worked his way through the middle using all of his experience. But they have to take advantage of these opportunities. If Waikato can find a way to survive through to half-time, it's a massive win for them. They need to keep things simple for me. Get good numbers in and around the ball. Use your size. You've got plenty of it. You just talked about it, TJ. Putty Parkinson, Strange, Frizzell. Get nice and tight. Get yourself set. Work hard.
Two distinct pods forming.
Please halfback, guys. Please halfback.
Norris in the halfback position, and they go to Frizzell,
One extra, numbers.
and they didn't get their numbers right here, Waikato. Coming through the middle very nicely was George Dyer, but the referee's playing advantage. Now, Tawatawa Nawai, and he says advantage over. It was only a free kick advantage, so it's gone very quickly. Here's Martenga having a charge at the line. Oh, coming through, Waikato have spoiled once more and winning another penalty. Oh, I think they've been a bit lucky here. There was a player came round the fringe, not sure whether he was onside, but they've got away with it, and now they've got a penalty.
Sort of running out of things to say, Kane. Can you come in here? Because it's like I'm beating the same old drum as the fact that just the lack of accuracy from Tasman, is that what's hurting them?
Yeah, it's actually really interesting. I think it's a mixture of things. You have Waikato giving away plenty of penalties, and then on the other side, Tasman are too. Just around, and you can see, I'm unsure, just didn't catch who that was. It looks like Cortez Ratima is the player that came around the side a little bit and possibly was a bit lucky. But how good are Waikato over the ball? This time it was Mitch Jacobson, earned that penalty, and Waikato out of a tough situation again.
Sam Cooper, and this time they go to the middle of the line out, and it works a treat. Whainga Anuku comes forward, takes it beautifully. Tasman running out of time in the first half here. Renton, who's hardly had ball in hand so far in the game. Gruby trying to thread his way through. Sam Cooper's there. Puts them on the ground pretty smartly. Marshall coming in to first receive it. And again, disrupting possession. Oh, they've done that brilliant. Tasman have been guilty that their support play hasn't been accurate, but you've got to admire the way Waikato have just got stuck in at the breakdown and caused all sorts of disruption.
Yeah, it's a danger of when you rely so heavily on your halfback to be distributed at every ruck, and you get late in the first half, and if he gets slightly taken out of play, all of a sudden this is the sort of pressure you put your team under. And once again, they've just been relentless defensively and haven't shown a lot of variation, Tasman. It was a remarkable statistic, though. 6 over 6 minutes in the 22 to come away with no tries. Waikato have been there 10 seconds and they've got 2. And that's probably just running them in. So this is a big moment for Waikato here. It's got to be a quick hook. It's got to be quick. Tasman are going to go hard at the scrum.
Crouch.
Yeah, 10 seconds, 5 seconds from 22 to goal line. That's about all it's been. But I think absolutely true reward for what they've done, and they scramble it away from an under pressure scrum to Lansdowne, puts it out on the full. I didn't really need that with half time on us, but Tasman have got to get something going. Otherwise I think they might be in for a bit of a hammering. If he's a note taker, Andrew Goodman was probably gone through about 2 notebooks in this first half. Down the back they go. Parkinson, Groovy away to Hunt. Almore. Bring it back the other way. Parkinson just had to delay a little bit. Look at the strength and the nice offload away to McDonald. Powering forward, taking play up towards the 22. Get a little untidy. They almost got disconnected, but Marshall does well to keep it alive. There were numbers away to the right. Almua throws an offload away. They get it quickly through the hands. Here's Tabataba Nawai. He's a dangerous runner. He hasn't had many opportunities so far in this game. Tasman, can they get it together? Into the red at the end of the first half. That's not a great pass at all. Whainga Anuku has to keep the ball in play. Referee, I think, might be playing an advantage here. Groovy flings it away to Hunt. Look at the way they're lining up on defence. Marshall floating the ball over the top. Oh, Norris batting it down, but they come back for the penalty. Well, what do they do here? It's right out in front. You take the 6 and admit that you've been done in the first half, or do you keep hammering away, Jeff?
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because it's almost an admission, you know what, let's take the 3 points. We haven't managed to find a way across the try line. It gets you within 9. Like you say, there'll be some serious conversations at half-time from the coaching staff going, okay, let's get ourselves right in the attacking 22. But they've still got to slide it over. If they don't quite kick it, they'll be back to full strength just after half-time. Waikato, and they're still ahead on the score sheet. It's a balance for me, Kane, of are you admitting here, righto, 3's quite nice right now?
Yeah, you have to. I mean, they do talk about points before the half and just after the half. You've got to come away from this half with something. You've had 5 minutes, I think you said, TJ, inside the 22 and really come away with nothing. So to finish with 3 points would be a bonus. And you're right, those 2 pages or those 2 notebooks that Andrew Goodman has gone through are going to be put to good use at half-time, and see how Tasman comes out.
Well, Hunt, right in front of the post, just beyond 40 metres. And this is 3 points that Tasman could do with. They have been really sat on their backsides by Waikato in the first half. Another eerie silence as he approaches the ball, sends it floating towards the post and bounces away off the upright. Well, that pretty much sums it up. Everything that they've tried in this half has ricocheted away in front of them, and Waikato have taken full advantage to lead at the break by 15 points to 3.
This is the place where raw talent
sensational
meets unlimited potential.
Sliding through the gap, he walks on water.
You take a bow because you're the man.
Forged by tradition.
The tradition and the history that these two teams have.
Motivated by history.
That is awesome.
Defined by pride.
Champagne finish.
Land Rover First 15 Rugby. Saturday live Sky Sport 2. Coverage brought to you by the new Land Rover Discovery.
Spring is definitely the perfect time to bring your garden goals to life. Sustainable gardening, just a small little composter, you can put it into a bin and then just feed it straight into your plants. Vegetables, herbs. I'm more of a herbs person because you just leave it on the kitchen windowsill. It's easy to look after, easy to maintain. Everybody wants the best lawn in the street. If you look after your lawn in spring, it'll look amazing.
Search Bunnings online.
Caught up with old Muzz lately?
Yeah, caught up with him yesterday.
Yeah? Whereabouts?
Oh, Waikato.
Not the hot pools.
Nah, on the passing lane. Come up from behind him and dropped it down a cog.
Oh, what the?
Don't quite know what he said, but he wasn't happy.
The new Shogun, now with 510 horsepower.
That'll make you smile. Huge savings up and down each aisle. There's all you need and more, much more. From feeling great to losing weight, and when you're feeling sore, Chemist Warehouse in the middle of our street, our house.
Well, it's a top of the table clash, and it's the team in second place who are making the running at Trafalgar Park. And Nelson, Numai, Hokimai, welcome back, half-time, and Waikato lead by 15 points to 3. They haven't had much territory, not a lot of possession, but they've got 2 tries, profiting from mistakes by Tasman, and they've been coming thick and fast. Initially, Gideon Rampling getting a toe to it, and then Matty Lansdowne had to jump on them over for the first try.
Total of 10 seconds they've spent in the attacking 22 of Tasman, and both of them resulted in tries pretty much. And you make errors against good teams, and this was on a long period of play. Tasman defensively, they were spent, and Lansdowne scores, and they're in complete control. And very similar second time round. Tasman have the ball, they have possession, they try and keep the ball alive. The ground hits the turf. What happens? Picked up by Sullivan. He accelerates away. And Coombs Family stays in support. Nice angling in here to create a little bit of space. Great finish. They go to the TMO. The foot ends up on the body, and they're in control on the scoreboard. And Tasman will be frustrated, TJ, with these types of mistakes hurting them. Tasman elated with the fact limited opportunities and 2 tries to show for it.
Well, they're feasting on the mistakes. It's a lovely move there from Sullivan, and great finish from Coombs Fabling. Hunt made a desperate attempt to tackle him, but the foot landing on his body didn't go into touch.
6:36 and 10 seconds. Never seen it before. Time in the opposition 22. They've conceded some penalties, a yellow card. Have Waikato. They haven't missed too many tackles given the fact 94 they've had to make. It's been all Tasman in terms of the statistics, but on the scoreboard where it counts, Waikato are the team that are in control.
Well, they've ridden out that yellow card too. Stephen Misa in the bin, and if a moment summed it up for Tasman, it's this one here. Hot on attack, the pick and go, they were making inroads. McDonald with a good little bust there, and coming in to pick it up, Shannon Frizzell, I think, lifted the eyes up, had a little look at the goal line, and the chance went begging.
Just the over-eagerness, the frustration. You see it here, he throws the ball away. Normally you're looking at a highlight, but because of the nature of this game, TJ, it's been about that for the Tasman Mako at home, who are usually so much better at protecting the ball.
So while the fans chew over the first half, we'll take a break, back very shortly with the second, but this is looking good for Waikato, leading Tasman by 15-3. So Waikato message is pretty clear there. I think Tasman probably would have been a lot more detail discussed there. A lot of things they'll need to set right if they're to avoid their first defeat of the season. Fletcher Smith starts the second half. 2 tries to 0. 2 tries beautifully taken, very much against the run of play, but Waikato certainly deserving of their lead for all the stout defence that they've shown. Groovy sends one high and out on the full. Well, that is not the way you want to start the second half. Straight away, Waikato back to 15, restored to 15 with Stephen Misa back, get a line out.
Set the line out, let's not move.
Come up with all sorts of variations in the first half. Started to go for the more traditional plays towards the end of the first 40. And they go long and deep to Lachlan McQuannell, whose work rate has been outstanding in the first 40 of this game. Misa wheeling out of the tackle of Shannon Frizzell. And into the 22 they go. Finau with the carry. Ratima taking play away to the right. Pick and go. McConnell. Misa now. Well, this is the longest that they've been at any one time inside the 22. Can they make it count? Yes, they can! It's Gideon Rampling brushing off the tacklers. That's their third try. And what a perfect start to the second half for Waikato.
You talked about the 1%ers. Well, that's more than that. It's pure accuracy in terms of getting to the ball, getting their hands on it. They did well at line-out time, and then this is just a beautiful line and angle. And Renton just lose sight of the player, doesn't get himself in a strong tackling position. Nice angle through the tackle in the midfield there of Tim O'Malley. That is a great way to start the second half for Waikato. Impressive.
Yeah, Tim O'Malley won't be happy with that tackle, and Hugh Renton as well trying to assist. It is all Waikato in the first half, and 2 minutes and a half in, it's all Waikato so far in the second half.
Just out of sorts, Tasman, for me, TJ, just at the moment. The fact that they're not playing like a team with some accuracy. They're up against the defence as well and truly organised as Fletcher Smith just eases one through, and they're well and truly in control of the scoreboard. Tasman coaches will be frustrated. Waikato coaches will be stoked because hot on attack, this is great execution, great power and great finish.
Well, it's been quite a move bringing this very exciting young player in from the wing into the midfield. He's just 20 years of age, product of St Paul's, and making his mark with that try. It wasn't a great attempt to tackle by O'Malley, but great strength from Rampling and a fantastic start. And look at the confidence, although Messam's dropped it. And so Tasman get it back. McDonald carting it up. They really need to get something together here, or they could be on a rather embarrassing result here. Tu'ungafasi driving it. Finau very solid on defence. And change of angle. Frizzell is, well, he's having, to be blunt, he's having a shocker.
Well, I think he's trying too hard now. I mean, I think there's a case where he ran that line so hard and he didn't get himself in the right position to take the ball. He was committed to the line, trying to make a break. And another error, and he'll be frustrated. There's no doubt. He's taken his eye off the ball. But put a lot of that down to pressure. I mean, Sullivan's come up on the outside of him, and he's seen him coming. And here's a guy who's not playing up to his own standards. He'll know that. But I'm really impressed by this Waikato defence. It's organised. And as you just watch Liam Messam put himself and fill the holes, and he brings the line speed, and you look at that, a 14-year drought. Tonight they're putting themselves in a position to break that.
Well, the last time they won against Tasman away from home was Liam Messam's first year in first-class rugby, and they've lost the last 7 on the bounce. But look at Sullivan. He'd been taken in the tackle. Marshall racing forward to take the tap. Tries to catch them with their backs turned, but gets the call. No, let's just calm down. Frizella, just going back to him, I mean, he's normally at the centre of what they're trying to do. I think to be fair to him, some of the passes that have been fired at him have not made it easy for him. But he's had 2 or 3 handling lapses in really promising situations. We know what a phenomenal player he is. As I say, maybe his teammates haven't done the right thing by him. Some of the ball he's got has been a bit ordinary. Bit of relief there for Tasman. The ball slapped down, and George Dyer, who's having a lively game, it comes through. They'll call a scrum here.
I think it's one of those things too, TJ, when you're playing against a squad, you know you've got key players the opposition are going to use against you, and they've used him a lot. And sometimes you need to use other players to take some attention off or heat off, and there must be space elsewhere. And from time to time, maybe as a decoy option, show some variation of how you use Shannon Frizzell. But it's time to strike. They have to strike because they need to get some confidence in their game, Tasman. There's no better place than this. A scrum right on the 22. Be nice and direct.
Boys, this is the one thing we've been good at.
I wonder too,
Hold the gap. Come on.
Jeff, the attack of Tasman is so far behind the advantage line. They pass it 10 metres back to go 2 metres forward because of the line speed of the Waikato pack. I wonder if they sort of employ the tactic that Waikato are taking, where the carriers are sprinting at the defensive line and you're bringing the speed on the other side. But just watching how deep Tasman are on attack, it isn't working for them so far.
The other thing too is the way the Waikato forwards have just muscled up on defence. Tasman are the best game line team in this competition, but they're not getting that edge tonight. Now Groovy fires it away, and some action close to the game line. Moore bumping them off, and he's taken about 15 short of the line. Strange with the carry. Groovy having to dig it out. He's got it, but here they come again. Look how quickly they are off the line. Renton. Now Hunt looking to get it wide. The in ball to Whainga. Anuku. So hard to stop. Hammering away again. Tuonga Pasi. Groovy has a little glance away to his right. Now McDonald. They've got Makaleo up their sleeves. Now the pass goes wide. O'Malley stationed out close to the touchline. Well, look at this. They're still inside the 22. But Waikato defence again holding firm. McDonald mess him up quickly on him. In fact, too quickly. Hunt calling for it was strange, but
you've got a penalty advantage.
They've just been working away on the 22, 5 inside the 22, but no further really. Staunch defence from Waikato. Groovy. Well, lots of numbers away to the left. Chopped down on the tackle was McDonald, but they keep it alive. Norris. Good tackle by Balin Sullivan. He's had a great game. Now Frizzell starts to get them going forward. That's what we're used to. Referee is playing advantage. Parkinson. Standing start. And a little knock on around the fringe, but they'll go back for the offside.
It's just an area of game I think we really need to sharpen up on. The fact there's probably been a minute of play here and only one team's been able to play. You know, if you wanted the advantage, you wanted the penalty, they probably needed to take that sooner. And There's no doubt the pressure was good, but the defence from Waikato has been really, really strong. And I tell you, I just watched for a period of play there, and you talked about George Dyer and Aidan Johnston, those two having to work. That's a long period of play. You're at the 50-minute mark, and they just keep working in the inside channels. And when they need to make their tackles, they're executing and not leaving holes. And what they are doing as well, though, they're leaving space in the backfield. If you're prepared to put the ball in behind along the ground, there is some reward to be had, particularly under advantage. You've got that opportunity. Take that early. To me, the defence has been so strong. Use the kick when you've got an opportunity.
Well, look at that. That is just an absolute blowout stat. That 72 rucks and mauls, over 100 tackles that Waikato have had to make. And Tasman still to get the ball over the line. The closest they came, well, a knock on just a couple of metres short of it. We're all waiting for this one, aren't we? Saturday night, the 100th test. Amazing that the 100-year anniversary of the first test matches between New Zealand and South Africa and the 100th test match, both coming in 2021. And of all places, it's going to be played in Townsville.
We've waited 2 years, haven't we? 2 years for this contest. From them winning a Rugby World Cup, we've wanted the opportunity to play the South African side. And yeah, they've had some challenges over the last couple of weeks, and the Wallabies have improved out of sight. They'll be up for tomorrow night. I have no doubt about that whatsoever.
Strange wins the line out. They work appeal. Here's Brazil, fires the pass away. And they're within millimetres of the line now, Tasman. Groovy has a look away to his left. Slow ball, but they've got it. Hunt flings the pass wide, quickly through the hands. Whainga Anuku brushes off one. Caught by the cover. Sullivan makes another good tackle. Ball went to ground, but hasn't been lost forward. Matenga driving over the 5-metre mark. Well, Waikato continue to hold them out. But another advantage coming here. Strange now. Whainga Anuku has a go. He's over. Finally, they've got the ball over the white line. It's taken them 51 minutes to break this resolute Waikato defence, and it's Lester Whainga Anuku who's done it.
And importantly, they've been put on another warning. Waikato for infringements once again. There was back-to-back penalty advantage. Great execution. Whainga Anuku this close to the line. Going to be very, very difficult to stop, but the damage had been done. They've got good ruck ball. They've got themselves in good position. They'd stressed out. There was some desperation from the Waikato defence once again, but relentless. Finally, for Tasman, they get some reward.
Conversion good.
Yeah, it was great work. Here from Tasman, you can see Quinton with the ball here, and then Lester Whainga Anuku just spots the space on the left. Now Anton Segner is making his way onto the field. Hugh Renton will be making his way off. Also, Ollie Norris, number 17 for Waikato, is going on as well, so Aidan Johnston will be making way for that change.
Ollie Norris on, and we'll be eyeing up his brother. There he is, the best rugby player ever to come out of Frankfurt in Germany. What a prospect. Here's Tamanawai bouncing out of the first. Well, can that spark a turnaround in fortunes for the home team? And well, not necessarily, not if that kicks anything to go by. Mitch Hunt, he'll kick 100 balls in the season.
No closing.
And you can bet your boots that 99 will be better than that one.
Step up to the line. Up to the line.
Yes, again, knocking it down, but Jacobson's there, driven back. But Waikato have it, and McQuannell really impressed by him in this game. The big lock, he's another one. Both locks have had more than their share of injuries. James Tucker and Lachlan McQuannell, and it's good to see them both out on the field. George Dyer. Now the change of angle from another very impressive player here, Balin Sullivan. And the referee got in the way there, I think.
Standing passively over the ball and you get cleaned out.
Yeah, it's interesting from Cortez Ratama. He wanted to throw the pass. He was committed to it. And I think he thought in his own head, well, if I don't throw it into the referee, we're going to be worse off. So I'm just going to play on here. And he knew the rules. He'd get the scrum. You look at tries already listed. Whanganuku scoring tonight. Look, he's a prodigious finisher. A real talent. I love the way he plays the game. Just watch here. As he picks up the ball, he's committed to the pass. And he's going, well, they're going to overrun it now. What do I do? So
let's keep it straight, boys. Keep it straight.
Nick Bryant does the right thing. Reset the play.
Crouch.
This is a good attacking opportunity. I think Waikato have been really good on attack in the second half when they've had the ball. Nice and direct, looking after the ball, and they have got dangerous ball carriers.
Well, just caught sight of one of them there, Gideon Rampling.
Oh, really? Out of sync.
Played on the left wing in the game against the Mako last year in Nelson, which they were beaten 34-17. See all the names of the Waikato players. Big year, of course, for the Union. The 100 there. You could pick better years, couldn't you, for a celebration? Ratama eventually gets it clear and has a little go on his own. Oh, he's going to go all the way. Brilliant try. Cortez Ratama. Well, that's massive, because just as it looked like the door had been opened for the Mako, he slams it shut on them again.
We talked about Tasman being off their game, and this is a great indication of it, because they don't miss tackles like this, and Ratama has taken advantage of guys just not focusing. There's nice work, acceleration, and then the spin and the tackle, and you talk about Shannon Frizzell, he's just not his night. Ratama scores, and it's a massive moment in this game. They needed to get some momentum back, and they've done it beautifully.
They often say on defence, the flanker will go wide and the 8 defends inside. Through Shannon Frizzell and Jack Ruby, they mixed it up there, and it's just not going well. But just watching the bench of Waikato, they're living through all of the players on the field, and just touching on that as well, we will have a change. Lachlan McQuannell, who has been awesome this game, will make way, and we'll see Hamilton Burt come onto the field as Fletcher converts that try.
Well, that is a beautifully taken try.
And we also will see the introduction of Atumuli onto the field. Andrew Makaleo too, who also injured his neck earlier in the season, has finally recovered from that after a couple of months of rehab, and Quinton McDonald will make his way off of the field.
It's a 19-point lead now. It was 15-3 at half-time. Well, they haven't taken it cleanly, and Tawatawa Nawai has got it back for the Mako. Well, been stung by that, no doubt. Here is Makaleo going hard at Misa. Look to go wide, but Marshall getting a fend going, taking it to the 22. Good tackle made by Mitch Jacobson. Oh, they've had to make so many tackles tonight. Waikato, Groovy, they move it to Marshall again. Dyer getting out, making the tackle. He's had a lively game, the young prop. And once again, they're just having trouble penetrating this very good Mulu defence. Changing the direction, but another advantage. This one goes against Cortez Ratama. And just when it looked like things might be opening up, slipping was Almoa.
I know. He's still ending up there and stopping the ball.
They've ridden their luck a bit, the penalty count mounting up, and they've given away a lot of penalties in their own defensive zone, but it hasn't really damaged them. Look at that. 13-5.
They've suffered one yellow card, and there's no doubt there. I think they were a little bit fortunate. The halfback found himself, Ratama, sort of pinned in there, and they were given the benefit of the doubt. But by the same token, I come back to what you said, Kane, the predictability of what Tasman are doing, and they're always hitting that middle runner for the forwards. There's no tip on, there's no variation, and it's allowing good contacts and dominating that area. There's just not enough variation in the attack.
Yeah, 100%. Every time they pass the ball 10 metres backwards, they're almost stuck there. They don't get to make too much space there. Now, Macca Springer, number 23 for Tasman, is making his way on the field. Just a young man, turned 18 this year out of Waimea College and Waimea Old Boys. Big prospect and a big talent. And Levi Omua, who has been pretty strong in the backs for Tasman, has come off the field.
Yeah. Well, beautifully read, James Tucker. But the clearing kick is not a good one. Marshall has it. He's hammered in the tackle by Jacobson. But they get it back. And trying to kick it. That was talking a fussy. Proof that props are really just, they're all first fives trapped in a too big body. Tried everything else, I suppose. Nothing else has worked, but now Whainganoko, he's the guy that can spark it. Takes it to ground. And needs some support. It arrives. Now they go back to the middle of the park. Now space on the left. Here's Segner now. Having a charge at Messam. He's not going to get past him.
Good bailout.
Ruby. Norris going in on defence there. Makaleo looking to get a short pass away. Hamilton, James Tucker getting over the ball. And more good work from Tucker. And every time they've threatened, it seems, they get a breakdown penalty awarded against them, Tasman.
After two of the worst kicks I've seen on a game of rugby, one was, I think, from Mitch Jacobson. He tried to clear his own line, and then it was this kick earlier on. I thought there was a kick there from, like I say, Tuanga Fasi, but they just haven't been able to penetrate with ball in hand. And you always get the sense, Kane, it's only a matter of time before Waikato are able to get in over the ball or at least force an error.
Yeah, it's been such a big part of Waikato's game. The work they must have put in throughout the week has been working very well. You've got Ross Filippo, the coach, has been doing some great work. Reece Bayliss is the coach on attack, and of course you have Andrew Strawbridge, Waikato legend, at home, who is the director of rugby. You've done some awesome work this week, and you've turned up and you're putting in a ton of effort. Liam Messam is leading well, and a lot of things are going very well for Waikato. Now, we do have a couple of changes. No, Sam Mesa is still on, but he will make way for Sam Cooper in a bit. And Tiahiwaru Viriki Deveta has made his way on for Tasman.
Putty Parkinson looks like the man who's gone off down the back of the line out. Xavier Rowe, it's all going well, even when it looked like they were losing control of it. Bounces into the hands of Rampling, and here they come again. Sullivan, Rowe, he'll ask questions around the fringe. A good strong run from George Dyer. He's just getting better and better as the game's wearing on. And that's a penalty. Well, a chance here now just to keep the scoreboard ticking over as we reach the midway point in the second half.
We talk about carries, Gideon Rampling. I think he's been outstanding in terms of getting himself involved in the game. He's carried strongly. They're going to take a shot at goal. Then you think about someone who's had to work in George Dyer, who just has taken limited opportunities to ball in hand. It was beautifully done just before. So I look at all of those things. Guys stepping up, running good angles. They're a different team. Just watch the hands here. And there's good fend and acceleration. Then fundamentally, look at that, long place, get through the middle, good body position, all the things you need to protect possession. And then Tasman guilty of giving away a penalty. It's been, I think, a standout performance so far in the first 60. Still time, but Tasman are running out of it.
There's 21-year-old George Dyer, plays for the Fraser Tech Club, and I think, Kane, you had a look at him very early on in his career.
Yep, St. Paul's Collegiate, George Dyer. Did a little bit of work at the school when I was up there. Such a great attitude and just wants to always work on his game, and you can just see that. He's only had one little blip at scrum time tonight, and to be fair, it was possibly just a slip. But he looks the goods. He has spent some time with the Blues.
So Fletcher Smith for a 22-point lead, and over it goes. And the score
Plenty of
continues
changes
to
on the
mount.
bench. Sorry, TJ. Rob Cobb is making his way on for George Dyer. Sam Cooper did have a taste in the first half when Steve Mesa was yellow carded. He has made that change permanent. And also, you would have seen Xavier Rowers on, and how good was Cortez Ratima in the first 60 minutes of the game.
So Tasman now with a huge job ahead if there to be any chance in this game, but at the moment it's just being owned by Waikato.
Advantage in the
Rowe.
side.
Ratima had a good game, but what a good player Rowe is too.
In the side.
And penalty. I'll be loving this as Liam Messam. You'll be loving it.
Oh, you talked about it before, about the fact, you know, the big moments and big seasons and celebrations. And for me, it's just great we're seeing the contest. Look, the situations, obviously, we had to take a break, but teams are coming out here and they're having to perform. And, you know, Waikato have done a great job tonight. Like you say, that Liam Messam has set an example for them. And, you know, they've continued to do what they've done well in the first 40 minutes. They've continued that in the second 20. This is an unfamiliar place for Tasman to be right now, but this won't harm them in any way. This challenges them to get better.
Well, as I mentioned, they've been on a winning run. I think there's just been another sub made here for Tasman. There he is.
Yep, Jack Ruby has made way, and Louis Chapman out of Christchurch Boys High School, very quality player, has made his way onto the field.
Tucker with the call. Finau, nice grab off the throw by Sam Cooper, and he's got the ball now. The replacement hooker feeds it back to Rowe. There's a little go round the edge, and well, Dawai lost it, but Tucker's there to pick it up. The work rate of the two lots has been great, but good work from Tamatava Nawai. He's got in there and he's forced the turnover, and now a penalty. Here he is, Timothy Tamatava Nawai. Just about ready to clear the bench. Willie Havili might be ready to make his entrance, Kane.
Yeah, it does seem that Willie Havili will be making his way onto the field. Brother of David Havili, who scored 3 tries in this fixture last year. You've already touched on that. Has spent some time with the Blue squad, so you'll see Willie Havili in the number 22 jersey, replacing Tim O'Malley.
Nice ball down the back from Strange. And wide they go to Tamatava Nawai, who won the penalty. It's got them into this position. Chapman swings it away. Frizzell with the carry, but they really haven't allowed him to wind up tonight. Chapman
Need that number?
Through the hands. I think there might be another offside coming up here. Calling for a number.
Number 20. Number 20.
Oh, hello, Hamilton Burr, the big Scotsman.
There's been about 5 offsides in the game. It's far too many. Repeatedly offside.
Well, there he is, the man who went to a very famous school in Scotland, Gordonstown, former pupils including Prince Charles. I think David Bowie and Sean Connery sent their sons, and here's another fine product. Hamilton Burr hasn't been on for long, gets the yellow card.
Doesn't change it being offside, TJ. It doesn't change where he's offside and he gets 10 minutes in the bin. You talked about the penalties. He's now been punished. So now we look at it. It's 15 minutes to go, 22 points. Highly unlikely you think Tasman can find a way, but in 10 minutes a lot can happen. They need to score now and they do it quickly. They need to first get this right.
Strange wins the line out. And here he is, the man who really looks the one guy on the field who can make it happen for them. Whainga Anuku, Norris with a charge at the line. They've been in this situation so many times in this game. Rowe, though, has done well. He's come around, he's disrupted possession. It's still there. Hunt has to clear it away. Makaleo. In fact, it's Tu'ungafasi Atumoli now to get over the ball. Right out in front of the posts. Makaleo is going to pick it up. And with Tuongafasi on his shoulder, has a go. But again, they stop him once more. A charge at the line. They've got it over. And the try has been scored by Shannon Frizzell.
But he hasn't stopped trying. He's made some mistakes. It's been a really difficult night for him. He's missed a tackle, which led to a try. But what he has done, he's got himself in a position to score one here. Mitch Hunt won't waste any time. They've got the advantage, the numerical advantage. He'll kick the conversion quickly. Take a breath, knock it over, and they'll get back into it and recognise they've got to keep playing over the next 14 minutes. But here it is. Nice work next to the ruck, Kane.
Yeah, and also touching on the work of Louis Chapman. Since Louis Chapman has come on, it does seem that the ruck ball has sped up, and that is a feature of Louis Chapman's game. Now we do have, it looks like, James Thompson, a Whakatane boy, making his way onto the field, and he will be coming on for Samipini Finau in the number 6 jersey, making his way off. Shannon Frizzell, you're right. He's come right in this last 20 minutes.
He just had a succession of things that went awry on him early on in the game, but showing his quality. Great low body position to get the try. It's 32-17, still 13 to play. Waikato with the 4-try bonus. And of course, they came into this game 2 points behind on the table. Bonus points have been their friend this year, although they've dropped a game. Because of the bonus points that they've been able to pick up, they're just 2 points behind. If they can kick on and win this, they'll go to the top of the table.
Don't worry about it. I won't penalise for numbers on a walk-in. Relax.
Cooper, who's been good and accurate since taking over from Stephen Misa. And Messam this time gathering it in with 2 hands. Almost a disengagement there, but no accidental offside.
You've got to go.
Tasman trying to hold up their progress. They're edging forward and well under control. That looked like they broke away. A new maul on the left, but Nick Bryant doesn't think so. Coming for Rowe. Rampling brushes off the first. Norris it was who came at him. A little bit untidy, but Smith's there. He's got lovely footwork. Or flung to the ground by Quinn Strange. Possession, everything now. Waikato starved him for long periods of the game. They can hang on to the ball here. They can finish off what would be an excellent victory for them, a valuable win. Tasman now having to defend. Tucker put on the ground just inside the 22. Rowe away to Smith. Now here's James Thompson, first appearance of the season for him. Smith now taking it to the line, dropping it off for Tucker. Segner makes the tackle. They're building the phases. They've gone 8 now. Can they finish the job off? The way that Tasman have really struggled to do, although Tasman trying to get hands on the ball. Rowe, we'll have to watch him round the edge, and now penalty.
Yeah, mistake from Rowe. The fact he went and got isolated, and it's Lester Whanganuku. Like you say, one of the guys who has been really noticeable for Tasman tonight, that has worked continually hard, scored a good try. He's looked dangerous every time he's got the ball. I think for Tasman, and when Mitch Hunt kicked that ball into touch, that to me, when you're down by what they're down, 15 points, you had to keep playing. You've got to keep playing. You couldn't sit back and expect, Waikato to make mistakes. And all of this has just taken time. Anytime they get their hands on the ball now, they have to hold on to it. And there's how it would sit. And you just mentioned it, Waikato would go to the top of the table on the back of a very important performance. And it's been impressive.
Also, opportunity for Hawke's Bay to move up the table. The game in hand, Canterbury likewise. Makaleo, over the top it goes. And it's the new man, Springer, off the left wing. Well, can they finish strongly here? Frizzell, Chapman, dragging it down to Ungafasi. Possession has been better in the second half. from phase ball. Now, Marshall handing it off to Sekner. Good strong run from him down to the 10. Starting to wind up here. Tasman, Frizzell got the call. Big pass from Hunt. Zariki Daveta. Now here's Tavatavanawa. And trying to shrug off the defence. Great determination from the winger to take it down to the 22. Now the gap almost opening up for Hunt. And there quickly, Chapman nearly intercepted. In fact, the referee's playing advantage here. Might have been an offside. Got to be careful. I've already got one man in the bin. Don't want to lose another for the last 10 minutes of the game. Tasman, real urgency about what they're doing now. Marshall straightening. The ball's been lost, so they'll come back for the penalty. A lot of offsides from Waikato in this game. They've been duly penalised for it, but no real damage done.
23 offside.
And you wonder when the next warning comes, if there's another one coming. Even though they've got someone in the bin, you can't continue to infringe if you're not getting hurt on the scoreboard. They've conceded one try, but Waikato know that this just takes all time up on the clock, right? How much do you keep pushing? And I think it'll happen here. And they'll play with another one. So he's just mentioned it, Nick Bryant, to Fletcher Smith. So discipline going to be critical.
Now, I have touched on it already, but the speed that Louis Chapman has brought to the Tasman attack has completely changed it. Cortez Ratima did it for Waikato in the first half. Louis Chapman has come on and completely changed the attack.
Makaleo throws to the line out. Norris pulling it down. They'll funnel it back. Makaleo, he's strong in these situations. They're driving towards the line. Sees the opportunity on the short side. He's over. Welcome back, Andrew Makaleo. Tasman coming back at them. It's 32-22. It's a 10-point game with the kick to come.
Yeah, and that's really nicely done. And that's taking advantage of what you've got in front of you. That's using your experience. They've brought some big guns off the bench and got set nicely. And they've taken some time to work together to get the coordination of what they were doing and the patience, which is critical here, Kane. And that leads to a good, strong score.
Yeah, a cheeky little maul try, wasn't it, for Tasman? Now, I can see Hamilton Burr on the sideline standing up, getting ready. I know he'll probably be disappointed that he's conceded a yellow card, and it has changed a lot since then. A mixture between Louis Chapman and that yellow card has changed the fortunes, and what 8.5 minutes we earned for to finish.
So a 10-point game. 8 minutes still to go. Well, important kick just to keep it ticking over. Not going to make it though. So you'd have to think they're going to need to score 2 tries to win the game, Tasman. It's not beyond them. And Waikato now, just the things change as Hamilton Burr comes back on. Are they now in hang-on mode?
Yeah, that's exactly it, is it?
Yep, it is Hamilton. Sorry, Jeff, it is Hamilton Burr who has made his way on. D'Angelo Leuila, Manu Samoa cap player. It looks like Gideon Rampling is the player making his way off, so both teams have cleared the bench.
The kick is deep. Tamatava Nawai gets rid of it quickly. Chapman really has sparked this improvement as the game's worn on, but is it too late? Back they go. Well, Hunt going high. Got to be a contestable kick, and it is, and it falls into the hands of Chapman. Makaleo throws a huge pass. Moved on quickly. Norris. Now Tamatava Nawai trying to bump them off. He needs to stay in field. Oh no, he got back to his feet. Referee said he was held in the tackle. Touch and go.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. It's always a difficult one for a player when you've been tackled and you're gambling on when you've been released. It was a great carry, incredibly strong carry. He was bumping players off. But my sense is, where was this urgency been earlier on in this second half and in the first half, you know, like all of a sudden you're chasing the game. Just watch here. Tackle attempted to me.
Well, there's no way that he's been held.
No, I agree. He's been very unlucky there.
But, you know, you win some, you lose some.
There's been a couple of moments, that have gone against Tasman. A couple of players around the ruck earlier in the first half. That time there,
not planning.
The Mulu men have come on fire.
Not planning on going back to Hamilton anytime soon, Kane. So, Waikato have it. And they'll look to finish the job off now. Who knows how important that penalty will prove to be. Oh, look, slicing through the middle is Leuila, the Samoan international who's just come on. Tupaya Cook-Savage in jersey 23, taking it into contact. And the referee plays advantage here. Well, here's the chance now for them to absolutely slam the door on this one, Waikato. Smith kicking across to the far side, under advantage. Oh, brilliantly taken! Liam Coombs-Fabling gets aerial for the second time, and another spectacular try for the young winger, and that is the ball game.
I couldn't say it better, TJ. Sorry, spectacular is right. What a perfect kick, under advantage. We talk about taking opportunities. Don't waste time carrying it. What a line. Leuila's come off the bench, and that's beautiful. Got them well and truly over the advantage line. There was a high tackle advantage in there, climbing in the air. That's beautifully done. Uses his body outstandingly well. Coombs Fabling, remarkable. This game is over, and Waikato deserved winners.
Yeah, those short lines. Gideon Rampling in the first half, Balin Sullivan as well, and this time D'Angelo Leuila. As we spoke about, Manu Samoa cap, very good player. And then this man to put it on the foot, and Liam Coombs-Fabling is the man who opened up the scoring for Waikato on the score sheet, and he will be the man that puts the nail in the coffin for Tasman tonight.
Well, an exciting young player. We saw glimpses of him last year, but he got airborne, and the hang time, he just seemed to hang it. That was NBA stuff.
Yeah, he just got his angle 100% right, but guys train and perfect this, and it was just nice to see it was in the right place. It was executed beautifully, and Fletcher Smith's been very, very good at what he does well tonight.
And the conversion is good, and that puts the seal on an outstanding performance by Waikato. I said NBA, probably more like AFL, but he got up and he just seemed to hang there. Brilliant skill. Well, it's been a real drought. 7 years since they last beat Tasman. 14 years since they last had a win against them away from home. Into the last minute. Well, we saw it last year when Tasman were beaten by Canterbury. They were well beaten. They bounced back from that. But this will ask some questions of the two-time champions, how they come back from this one. Really, the urgency came just a bit too late. You've got to hand it to Waikato. The way they defended that, rode out those rough patches on defence in the first half. It looked like they were coming back into it, the Mako, but just flashes of brilliance have finished the job off for the Mulus.
Yeah, penalty there for player leaving the feet. We talked about it earlier on, and this is what I do like about the game, is when you are trying to close it off, you're not allowed to seal it off because it's pure and simply trying to eat up the clock. And they'll look to finish well, Tasman, here with a try of some sorts, but they know they've been well and truly beaten tonight, and they haven't been good enough. But to me, this Waikato squad, if they can stay healthy and they can stay playing with this sort of confidence, with this strength in their defence, they're a contender to win an NPC title this year.
Well, they have got something to play for here, and that's a bonus point. Oh, it's a loose line-out throw. Who wants it? Well, Chapman's there. He's been one of the few bright lights about this performance for the Mako. Hunt needs to go in to clear it. If they can get another try, get their fourth of the game, they'll have something to show for it. Setner busting through. Good strong run from him. Has to hang on to it. He wanted to offload it. Havili was there. Here's spying Anuku with a charge. I'll keep plugging away to say there's an important point at stake here. Waikato will be equally keen to deny them. Look at Tucker going in, hands on the ball, just losing his footing though. So he has to let go. And Tasman keep coming at them. Chapman, Hunt now, moves it on. Here's the new man, Springer. And he's a player to watch too. But a penalty. That's Willie Havili, I think, taking a man out off the ball. And that's the end of it. Well, that's a tremendous performance from Waikato. They've ended a long losing streak against the defending champions. And come up with a fine win here. They've looked the better team. More and more as the game's worn on. They took their chances against the runner play in the first half, and they take it by 39 points to 22. First defeat of the season for Tasman.